Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we've got some bad news about some good news.
Yeah.
They've sold out.
Yep.
We're going to talk about this. There's a controversy around John Krasinski's web show, his feel-good, family-friendly, good news web show that we thought he was using to get all of us through these unprecedented times.
Yeah.
And keep our spirits up during the shutdown. Turns out that he got the show picked up by a network. The show has been picked up by CBS, and he's out of here. He's cutting out.
Yeah, but there was a bidding war for the show.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this because, God, I'm really torn. I feel bad because my kids love John Krasinski. They love The Office. You know, our kids love it. You know, it was cool to see this show. We watched the Steve Carell and John Krasinski reunion.
I saw the Hamilton one.
We watched the Hamilton bit. It was like, wow, this is really nice and he seems like a nice guy. This is really nice of Hollywood to, kind of lower themselves to our level, to just do a little homemade web show like everybody else is doing Zoom and all that, just to make us feel better.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when this show started and the kids were talking about it, you said, what's he going to do? Turn around and sell it? You did. You totally said he was going to sell it.
I felt horrible. I felt like I'm this awful, cynical old man looking at this and being like, oh, this guy's going to cash out.
Well, especially since he had like the handmade sign behind him and the I Love Dad card, like from his kids and stuff. And you're just like, well, you know, that's really, yeah. You're like, no, that's probably mean. And then he did. And I kind of wondered when they had the announcement that after so many episodes that, oh, well, we're gonna take a break right now, but something, you know, really about, I forget exactly what he said, but I was like, oh, he sold it. I bet you he did. And then it came out, he sold it. I'm like, oh, surprise.
I had to pause it on here. Nathan Hartman, who we actually had on, we've had him on as a guest before. He is a Disney blogger, really nice guy. Go and check out the episode we did, the interview with him. But his tweet got highlighted in the New York Post.
That's funny.
Because he said, you've got to love what seemed like an act of goodwill during a pandemic, being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Taste that sweet, sweet capitalism.
Yep.
And look, I don't fault anybody for selling a show if you have the opportunity, you know?
I know, but it's kind of like it was based on, like, it was misled the audience because they used people. They had lots of guests that people can't call it in that were just fans, and they used them for the show, and they did it like for free because they're like, hey, you know, we're just trying to spread cheer and all this other stuff, and then all that was taken and then cashed in.
Yeah, because people really honestly thought that the goal was just to make people feel better during the shutdown.
Yeah.
And it was a very kind of homemade kind of a thing. Like, oh, we're all at home together, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, now the playing field's been leveled because Jimmy Kimmel's on the same level as John Krasinski because everybody's doing everything through Zoom and Skype and just a cynic of me. I feel horrible because this happens all the time. People call me out for being cynical. You know, I mean, we got freaking Kevin Smith calling me out for being cynical. But then usually what happens is I wind up being right, and then I get even more jaded because I'm like, I can't believe I believed you when you told me I was cynical, and I tried to lighten up, and it turned out I was right anyway.
I know, and it's sad because everybody wanted it to be just for kindness, you know. And you see these Hollywood celebrities, and they're just desperately trying to get attention, doing all these things, you know, follow the guidelines, and you know, we're all in this together as they're sitting in their giant big house, and you know, people are afraid they're going to lose theirs and everything else, and people mock that all the time. But this one actually felt genuinely like, I'm trying to do something entertaining, I'm trying to bring some good news, I'm trying to bring some levity to the situation, and then he turned around and sold it to the highest bidder. It wasn't like he just sold it to, you know, to the first person to ask. No, there was a bidding war, and that takes time to plan. Yeah,
so that is where, you know, I guess our experience kind of comes into play because we've been down this where we've had agents, we know people with agents.
We know how they set bidding wars.
We know how they plan things months and months out in advance, and I just can sort of, the cynic in me can just see the conversation Krasinski had with his agent was probably like, you know, you say shut down, I say opportunity. Let's, you know.
I want to believe, and I'm gonna keep believing for now, that it didn't start out as a way to sell out. I'm gonna believe that it was started with the best of intentions. that's what I'm going to hope to believe.
Right.
But I think after the first couple episodes, when they were already getting like millions of views in 2 episodes, that then they were like, oh, we can leverage this, because it takes a while to go through the legal, you know, I mean, granted, money makes things run faster, but it takes a while to go through the legality of it, to get stuff, a package put together. They had to have a bidding war. Well, that usually takes, you had to have time that they all could look at it, then have time to offer a bid.
Yeah.
It's not like just, they called me yesterday and boom, it's sold. Not when there's a bidding war and everything else involved. And it's Hollywood people. They know the drill. They know the legal hoops they have to jump through first.
And we're also dealing with, you know, the shutdown, which is making it harder to get a hold of people. It's making it harder to get money approved.
Right.
You know, because everybody's out of office, or money is being put on hold, and CBS, you know, they're holding money too. Everybody's putting everything on freeze.
Yeah, we see people canceling things right and left, and we know how Hollywood legal works because we've dealt with it.
Yeah, we're currently dealing with it. Like, it takes time. This isn't an overnight thing. So it's almost as if maybe that first episode was a pure thing, and right after that, when they saw it was getting millions of views, you know, it's like, John Krasinski's got a YouTube show, let's buy it. And that's, you know, I think for me, the frustrating thing is we see this all the time with, you know, we saw it in webcomics, we see it in YouTube, where you have platforms that are built by creators, individual creators who aren't necessarily Hollywood people or whatever, but then Hollywood tries to, you know, pull a hey fellow kids, and they kind of sneak their own people in there.
We saw it with Maker. Maker Studios, yeah. Disney bought it, and they were trying to. They've been really trying hard to get into YouTube, and they don't. Varying levels of success, let's put it that way. But they thought, I think Maker was going to be an easy in for them because they had PewDiePie and all that stuff with it. And then it kind of got, they got hold of it and just kind of went,
because they didn't know what to do with it. They tried to control YouTube.
You can't control YouTube, just so you know. You just can't do it.
But this happens a lot with these people who are like, hey, we're one of you. Now, I wouldn't fault them at all. Anybody that is like, okay, I built my platform up, and now here comes Hollywood, and they're going to offer me a show or something.
Right. And that usually takes a long time. This just
not
like
one episode.
We're like a few episodes in, and guess what? We're selling. You know, he didn't announce it there. He just said it was the last episode, and then the announcement came like a few days later.
Right, but it was in the works before that. You knew it was in the works.
It had to be. I'm guessing an episode or two were legit, probably best intentions in mind.
Yeah,
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
And it's not gonna work though, because the charm was, here's Hollywood humbling itself, you know, being one of the common people,
bringing them onto your show,
bring them on your show,
a show for the people to cheer people up and make it about good news and happiness.
Because if it's got high production values and all that, then it's basically just Ellen.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, at that point, because that's basically what Ellen is. You know?
Another, because Ellen, hers is all about, like, you know, positivity and some good news and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's basically going to be just another one of those. People thought it was something different. But anyway, go ahead about the article.
Okay, so we'll talk about the article, and we'll talk about people's reaction here. So it's decidedly bad news for Krasinski's squeaky clean reputation. That's it. I'm like, he seems like a legit nice
the
guy.
kids love him.
Ever since news broke that the Quiet Place star had agreed to sell his Positive Story broadcast, Some Good News, which he developed for YouTube. He just got a damn camera and set it down. Critics have descended on social media to call the 40-year-old actor-director out for selling out. Krasinski launched the show at the cusp of the coronavirus pandemic.
Right, it was supposed to be a distraction from, news.
As a distraction from devastating news coverage. And I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, the guy I don't think he needs the money.
No, and the thing is, a lot of people needed the distraction because, I mean, it's not so bad now, but for a while there, it was like constant terror and constant, like, you know, bad news. Yeah. And it could, let's be honest, psychologically, it was really harmful for a lot of people. And people were like, I need to hear good things. I have to have something to cling on to, you know?
Like, you turn the news on and they're like, if you leave your house, you'll die. You know, open the door, you'll die.
Let's be honest here. The news sensationalizes everything. Whether or not, I'm not minimizing or maximizing the reach of the virus. What I'm saying is media tend to, go to the extremes, either way, to try to get you to watch them, listen to them, read them, whatever. So I don't care if you're on the side of, one on the side of the other. It was a lot of bad news all the time, and people really were getting depressed by it, and they were feeling shut in. So then, it was kind of nice that there was a show, and it was what sold it, I think, to people was that he was just doing it to put good news out there, to try to bring joy to people, and to help people, and that's what they thought. And then as soon as it became something, it was sold, and it's like, so kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like selling goodwill.
Yeah, pretty much. During his first broadcast on March 30th, he had a request for viewers. For years now, I've been wondering, why is there not a news show dedicated to entirely good news? Well, desperately seeking my fix somewhere else, I reached out to all of you this week asking, begging for good news, and boy, did you deliver. But earlier this week, Krasinski aired his last installment after only 14 episodes.
I thought it was fewer than that, but good.
We do 14 episodes in like a week.
Yeah.
But we're bad. We're some bad news. Mm-hmm. We're gonna rename CLOWNFISH TV some bad news.
Not always bad news.
All told, some good news earned nearly 1 million followers on Instagram and 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube with each. Well, yeah, because it was constantly trending. Mm-hmm. And I want to get back to my cynicism after we talk about this, with each broadcast bringing between 3 million and 17 million viewers. Now, folks on social media are claiming he's turned the feel-good program into a cash grab, as the show has been officially licensed by Viacom CBS.
It's a license, so you have to have a licensing agreement in place. I mean, that's a whole nother legal thing.
Right. Undisclosed amount of money after bidding war. Bidding wars take time. Mm-hmm. Very few details about the new show have been announced, other than the fact that Krasinski won't even be the host.
No, he's the producer.
That's not good enough.
So people liked it because they liked him, and they liked what it was about. He's not even going to be the host anymore. Well, he's got to go out and do his movies and stuff again after you're allowed filming. He has to need something to fill his time until he can go back to filming what he wanted to film again.
Right. And that's what these Hollywood people are doing. They're dipping into social media until they can get back to their real jobs. They're playing around with the common folk.
Don't you forget about me.
Yeah. Remember when he...
Don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Remember when he created this feel-good YouTube show to make people feel good? Now he's selling it for money. Really cool. 100% honorable, tweeted entertainment writer Lindsay Weber. Mm-hmm. This is Nathan Hartman, who we've had on the show. Nice guy. On Twitter, a Florida film professor complained, "You gotta love what seemed like an act of goodwill during a pandemic being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Taste the sweet, sweet capitalism." Mm-hmm. And again, I don't fault anybody. I think it's just the way it was done. The way it was done. Before cutting the cord, after not even 2 months, Krasinski gained traction by flexing his Hollywood ties. His premiere episode featured a rare office reunion between him and Steve Carell. They talk about Brad Pitt and, who's gonna start their own YouTube show? It's already an uneven playing field. Start your own YouTube show out of your house and be like, yeah, I'm going to have Steve Carell on, Brad Pitt, and we're going to do a Hamilton get together.
They brought Lin-Manuel Miranda on there, and he brought the Hamilton Broadway,
the whole cast.
Broadway cast on with them. For a little girl who was upset that her Hamilton, she had tickets to see it and she didn't get to go. Yeah,
but again, you put this in a studio, and you put a host, whatever. You're basically talking Ellen.
Yeah, you're basically just...
There's nothing unique about this.
It's not what made it special. And it said he signed off his final episode by saying, "No longer needing to remind you that no matter how hard things get, there's always good in the world. Thank you for making the show very special. We will see you again." And when they said that, I'm like, oh, I bet you he sold it. But I thought, no. Maybe he just meant he has to go back to work and maybe he'll do them occasionally. And then we saw the story.
I am such a dunce. I'm such a dupe. I really...
You felt bad.
I felt bad. The first thing when the kids started watching, I'm like, oh, that's cool. John Krasinski. I'm like, oh, he's angling for a Hollywood deal, isn't he? And I'm like, no.
You totally said it.
I did. I said to you, and I'm like, no, that's really mean. That's bad Kneon. Bad Kneon. You're so cynical. This is just a feel-good thing. Sometimes there's just good in the world with no strings attached.
But we've been around the world long enough to know that there's always strings attached.
And I'm like, damn it, John Krasinski, you let me down hard, bro. You let me down hard because I was like, oh, he's just a good guy. I wish I could be that good.
I guess where we come from is we've been around Hollywood enough that there's always strings attached. I mean, there always is some kind of string attached to everything. Always.
Yeah. So, yeah. And here's the thing. We saw this in comics, too. Mm-hmm. We saw so many people, I'm not going to name names, but there are people who came into webcomics. They slummed it in webcomics to promote a book or promote books that already had publishing deals.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Well, there's multiple people that have done that.
I know one particular, yeah.
Yeah, and it's this lie. It's almost like, oh, look, they're one of you. you simpletons, they're one of you. Give them money and support them when they but the thing is those deals were already in place.
No, well, you know what I mean. It happens.
It does happen. But those deals were already in place before they went to the internet. Krasinski had to have had some inkling that this was going to be a thing.
You love me, don't you?
Krasinski had to know that this was going to be a thing. And he probably talked to his agent about, again, we can tell you just in our own experiences how long it takes to put together a bidding war, how long it takes to put together a pitch.
Well, it's a licensing agreement, which is a completely different thing too.
So we're talking a month of lawyers right there.
I mean, granted, money makes things go quicker. But still, I mean, to make sure it's it's completely sound, it's going to be gone over and over again and again, and go back and forth between legal teams. It's just it took a while. I mean, it took at least a couple weeks to a month. So it was like, we're talking, this is less than 2 months ago. I mean, it ended a few days ago. So we're talking 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks that it actually did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So probably half of that time was working on this deal, at least. Yeah.
So they had even if he started with the best of intentions, they had to have started the legal wheels turning after the first damn episode. Probably like, I got like 10 million hits.
Well, they mentioned it. They said, with the move to CBS fans to show where the original humble production will lose its appeal.
Yes.
Exactly. They said, what the hell? The charm is watching this particular guy in his house with somewhat amateur production values, chatting with friends, family, and fans.
Yeah.
To Dave Zatz. And it's like, that's just it. It's not going to work. Some things, it's meant for a certain platform. It's just not going to work.
I hate this so much. Some good news was pure and wonderful, and CBS is going to use it as a multi-platform showcase across the conglomerate's brands.
Somebody else mentioned, it's not in this article, that if it probably goes to CBS, it'll probably go behind their paywall. Yeah, here, she was talking about it here. Finding out some good news has been sold to be put behind a paywall on CBS All Access is so disheartening. Yeah, you can have your good news if you pay $5.99 a month for it. Way to completely lose the integrity behind it.
Well, that's okay. CBS All Access also has a couple of shitty Star Trek shows.
I was going to say Star Trek.
So I think their integrity's been gone for a while, personally. I don't know.
It's just sad. I don't think it's bad that someone made something to sell it so much as because of what it was and what the idea behind it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
people
never
feel robbed.
It's never the same. And again, I get people want to sell shows to make money. I get that. This kind of reminds me of the kids have been, speaking of Viacom, the kids were binge watching iCarly. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of iCarly, where they had the one episode where they had the network come in, and then they made all these changes to iCarly to make it more, professional, and it wasn't the same thing.
Well, the changes they made were stupid, and the kids didn't like them because they thought they knew better, and it did really, really bad, that's what this reminds me of, yes.
Yeah, but he's not even going to be the host. Like, I mean, this
producer, I'm hearing.
Yeah, but I mean, Krasinski, I'm granted he probably has other things he wants to do, but he could have set himself up as like another, Jimmy Kimmel or, whatever. But it's people are pissed, and I don't know how much support it's actually going to get at this point, because it does feel like a bait and switch. Like, hey guys, we're doing this lo-fi thing. I thought he was just doing it to keep himself busy till Hollywood started up again.
Because the way he presented it, the quote you said was, I want to hear good news, and I'm not hearing much good news, and I'm sure you aren't hearing much good news. So send me your good news so we can all talk about it, and it helps everyone.
People thought they were giving of themselves. They were sharing their own experiences. They were helping, I guess, a cause of helping people feel good during these unprecedented times. And it turned out they were just helping him create a pilot to get picked up by a conglomerate that a lot of people hate now.
So anyway, I think that's why people feel duped.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the day. I mean, this stuff happens all the time where people build stuff and sell it, and he's allowed to sell it.
Yeah.
It's just how he went about it is questionable to some people.
How fast it happened too, because it does look like it was pretty much a calculated. Mm-hmm. Like if he did this for now, And then, things went back to normal in Hollywood for a year or two. And he's like, hey guys, I want to bring some good news back, but we're going to do a more professional version of it. And it's like 2 years down the road or something. I don't think people would care. They'd be like, yeah, that was pretty fun. But now it just looks like it was a quick cash grab.
I think people invested so much of their time and themselves and in it, supporting it, thinking it was just something good.
Yeah.
Something good that with no strings attached. And now now the puppets come out and the strings are all attached and...
It is Hollywood, baby.
It's Hollywood. Yeah, this is so typical Hollywood.
This is why, look, I love people who work, everybody works in Hollywood. They're like...
Everybody works in Hollywood knows we're not wrong.
They know we're not wrong. I was like, damn it, he's gonna... Oh, God, I'm so stupid. I thought this is the one time I was gonna be cynical and I was going to be wrong and I was a horrible... And I'm like, I'm getting old and bitter and I need to stop it. And... damn it, John Krasinski, you let me down.
Well, let's be honest here. You're thinking, if I were him, what would I do?
I wouldn't. That I don't think I would do. Now, if somebody came, well, depends on how much money. How much money are we talking about?
No, I'm just like...
I mean, they drop if they're like, hey, we can wire you $20 million tomorrow if you just, pull your YouTube show. Because this has happened before, too, with like webcomics and comic books, where something takes off, it's really popular, and then, the publisher comes in and is like, yeah, we want this, we'll publish it, but then they have to take the webcomic down.
Right.
And people get so pissed. But in that case, the author's intention was always to get the stuff out there to as many people.
And everybody knows that. This was like, I guess it's all an intention because people thought his intention was something different. And I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and a lot of people feel duped. And again, because there's so much audience participation, they're giving...
Yeah, that's part of it, I think.
And I don't fault... Again, I don't fault anybody for making money, especially in these trying times with Hollywood being shut down. But just using your audience like that, and then being like, "Yep, sign our suckers. I'm cashing my check, you guys. I know you guys are probably all unemployed and miserable, and don't know what you're gonna do. But that's okay. I just cashed me a fat check.
Yeah.
So me and Emily, we're gonna be fine. We got some good news today.
They had money before.
We got some good news today. The wire transfer went through.
That's right.
Papers got signed.
Yeah.
Papers were signed. The check cleared. Me and Emily, we got some good news today. So see you, suckers.
Yeah, I don't know if that was how he was acting about it. I think that's how people feel about it.
That's how people feel.
He summed up how the audience feels.
That's how the audience feels. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hate to inform you, this is the last episode of Clownfish TV.
He's kidding.
Disney Plus bought us.
Yeah. No one's going to believe you for sure now.
And we're going to be on Disney Plus. I did put a request in for Jeff Bridges to be me. Mm-hmm. He's going to be me.
Why Jeff Bridges?
Because he's the dude.
Who would play me then?
Who do you want to play you?
I have no idea. It has to be a redhead.
Karen Gillan.
I don't think she could pull it off.
No, she's not. She's not spicy enough.
I'm sorry.
But the great thing is the production values are going to go way up. Our avatars aren't just going to bob up and down. They're actually going to be... Pixar is going to animate us. It's going to be great. No, I'm sorry. It's not Jeff Bridges, because they told me that they want an actual black guy.
Oh, okay. That's
not me,
true.
not a fake black guy. So
I'm sure I'll be portrayed as a redhead. It's going to Hollywood. I'm obviously not going to be a redhead anymore. Nor will I be white.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be great, guys. And that check, it's fantastic. See ya. It's been fun. But we're done. Playing around with YouTube. We're going to go move to Beverly Hills.
I would never live there if you paid me.
No.
But anyway, I've been to California, I've been out Hollywood. I just don't like it there. So anyway, he's kidding, of course. I better clarify that he is kidding. If you didn't get the sarcasm by now, because some people clearly don't get the sarcasm. He's kidding. So can we wrap this up? People are like, you're still going? Who cares?
They do care.
No, they're like, you're not Krasinski. We're shutting you down now.
All right, so we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.